Whether you're diving headfirst into another person's head, whether you're throwing elbows into someone's spine, if you're doing a front flip, a back flip, a tope, a senton, picking up change, you're doing a mosh pit maneuver. You're participating in slam dancing, and today those moves are going underneath extreme scrutiny. I'm putting the spotlight and the microscope on mosh pit moves and stage dives to tell you guys which ones are cooler and better than the other ones. It's tier list time. We're going to start off with one of the most classic maneuvers. It's the two-step or the skank, depending on if you're at a hardcore show or a ska show. It's going to be called something differently. But the two-step is a move that songs are like written around. It's to make people do this specific move. It's an S tier move. Next is the backflip. Now this move is a great move. It's really hard to pull off. When you pull it off, it's very steezy, but it's a blind maneuver, so it's very dangerous. And because of all that, also an S tier maneuver. Next move is the cartwheel. The cartwheel is a very common move. I would say almost too common. I'd say the cartwheel is a little bit overplayed. People do the cartwheel when they're too afraid to do like a no hands dive, you know? They put their hands down first and then they do a little launchy poo. I'm not totally down with it. I think that's a C tier maneuver. The circle pit, when everybody is just running in a circle. Depending on the venue, depending on the show, it can be higher or lower, but it's so classic, I'm gonna have to put it there at the A tier. The front flip is a little bit less dangerous than the back flip, but it's oftentimes not completed. It's often under-rotated, and because of that, it's an A tier. An under-rotated front flip is actually a senton. A senton is like an under-rotated front flip where you land on your back. It can also be performed by just doing like a jumping seated thing and going backwards. But it's not that difficult of a move. It's a very common move. I'm gonna have to put that here in the B tier. Next move is the tope. The tope is your basic stage dive, often called the Superman or the torpedo. It's just a straight dive out into the audience. No hands, no nothing, just a straight shot. You might hit somebody's head, you might fucking dive headfirst into the fucking concrete, but that's a risk you're gonna be taking with the tope. That's an A tier maneuver. The plancha, however, is the tope, but with just a little bit of a twist. Yeah, the plancha is an S tier dive. I named this move the sour cow. It's named after the sow cow, which is, I think, a figure skating move. It's basically where you just jump up and rotate your body. So the sour cow, I don't think is really that effective of a maneuver. Not that cool looking of a maneuver. I don't know, dude. The sour cow is D tier. Next up, we're going to be talking about the wall of death. It's like you divide the audience in half, side A versus side B, and then they just charge at each other like ancient battlefield style. You know, it's pretty crazy, it's kind of dangerous, and it can lead to some pretty devastating occurrences. But I don't think it's that great. I'm going to put it right here in the wall of death is going to be B tier. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Sling Blade. I've only ever seen the Sling Blade performed one time. It was really sick. It was pretty much S tier at the time. It's going to be S tier forever. This is a crowd favorite. This is the Windmill. You're going to need at least 10 people's worth of space around you to perform the Windmill. Otherwise, you're going to be knocking off everybody's head. You just basically throw your arms around in a circle a whole bunch of times like a windmill. B tier. Next, we're going to be talking about the head walk. That's where you start on the stage and you jump up onto the audience and just walk on their heads. Some people call it the skull walk, but either way, it's the same at the end of the day. You're making distance on people's heads. I always love to see a head walk. A tier. Now, the most classic maneuver that you'll see in any show, hardcore show, metal show, rock and roll show, doesn't even matter. You're going to get the headbang. The headbang is A tier. Next up, we're going to be talking about the low throw. That's a move that you'd normally do inside the middle of the circled circle, where it looks like you're just throwing softball after softball. Yeah, so that's B tier. The better version of that is the high thrower. It looks like you're throwing baseball after baseball. And these moves are always accompanied with the spin kick. The low throw, spin kick. You can do low throw, high throw, spin kick. But the combination of the low throw, the high throw, and the spin kick are a very crucial combination. But the spin kick is definitely an S tier punctuation on any slam dance combination. Okay, next up is the swim in. What is the swim in? That's a stage dive that starts on the other end of the fucking stage. You want to swim towards the stage. That's why you're swimming in. So you're climbing up at the back of the pit and you're swimming on everyone's head to get to the stage, to hopefully participate in a sing-along, to hopefully do a little bit of a dog pile, or maybe to fucking dive off in a second or two. But either way, the swim in is a fucking B tier maneuver. Last up on the list, and I know there's like a million moves here that I have not covered. There's no F tiers. There's fucking like not a lot of C mid tiers. As you can tell, I really like slam dancing and stage diving because all of these moves are high tier. I need to do some shit tier in the next video. But this is the launch pad. This is a move that takes 2 slammers. First step, a slammer gets on their knees on the stage. Second step, the second slammer comes running and jumps on the back of the first slammer who's knelt down. It's great to see this kind of teamwork in the pit. The fucking launch pad is an S tier maneuver. All right, and that's the Mosh move tier list.